Hi everybody, Sharon here from the Kraft Kabin. So, if you saw my live on Facebook last night, you would have seen that I created this card here, which actually turned out really well. So I thought I'd do a quick YouTube tutorial on how I created the background. In fact, this is one of my most favourite techniques. Using alcohol inks on Yupo and lifting off the colour onto a piece of card. So really lovely technique, and I'm going to share it with you. So this is a piece of Yupo paper. Now I use my Yupo over and over again. So this is what I created last night, and all I do, because obviously Yupo is so expensive, okay, that you want to get a few uses out of it. And the nice thing, so all I've done there is using some alcohol blending solution, I have just wiped off some of the ink. And as I said, you can carry on using that quite a few times. Okay, the nice thing about transferring the pattern on your Yupo to a piece of card is that you can then emboss and you can stamp onto the card, whereas the Yupo paper, obviously this is like a plastic. Okay, this is like a plastic, so if you were to add heat to this, it's going to buckle and it's going to melt eventually. So let's get started. So I've got my Yupo paper. I'm going to be using pitch black alcohol ink, which is one of my favourites because you get lots of different colours in there. Stream and a bit of Valencia just to give it a pop. You're also going to need an alcohol ink lift. You're going to need your blower and you're going to need a brayer. So let me just go grab my brayer. I thought I had one there actually, but I obviously cleaned and put that one away. And my brayer, and I'm just going to use a simple speedball brayer. If you've got the distress brayers, then they will work as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by adding some blending solution to my Yupo card. I'm going to take the darkest colour first. That's just my preference. And I'm going to add a couple of drops of pitch black, and we're going to start moving that around on our paper. Okay, now I find the easiest way to get those nice wispy edges is to move the ink backwards and forwards. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit extra around there, and we're going to blow that back in on itself. So backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Okay, if you've got any areas that you don't like and you think, oh, they're a little bit muddy, just pick them up with a cloth. Okay, and then again we can go in with our areas there, and again backwards and forwards. And can you see the way we're starting to create, without adding any more ink, a really nice sort of pattern, but not with many hard lines. There we go. So most of that colour is drawn back into the middle, but if you look closely at that, you'll see that we've got all different sorts of colours in there. We've got blues, I know we've got sort of pinks underneath it, but that's from the staining from my from what I did yesterday. Yeah, just keep on moving that around until you're happy. So I quite like that. That's looking good. So I'm now going to add some more blending solution, and I'm going to add my stream, and I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did before. forwards until you're happy and you've got the desired effect. So I'm just going to add a small amount more down here. So again, I'm going to go into there and back out again. I don't really want sort of splats like that, so I'm just going to work. That's better. Just want a little bit of a darker, more intense colour in the middle there. And then I just want to work a small amount more up there, just pop a little bit of solution to help that move around. So as I say, it's good just to carry on going until you're happy with the effect that you've got. And also remember that when you're doing a lift like this, your colours will be slightly duller when you do your lift. So it's quite important to keep your colours quite nice and bright. So let me just put the lids on those, and now I'm going to add in some Valencia. Now when you add this in, just be really careful, because obviously orange, you're going to end up with brown if you're not careful. So we need to be quite careful when we do this. Okay, so as you can see here, when it mixes with the stream, you do end up with a browny colour. So let's just dab that out very easily. I'm just going to add a little bit more blending solution there. I don't mind a little bit of brown, but I don't want it all to be brown. So there we go. And I'm going to add just a small amount down here as well. So very gently, I'm going to move that into there. And I'm just going to take these blobs out here. There you go. And I find the blower is much better because you've got more control over where your colour goes. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to put the top on all my bits there, and I've cut myself a piece of card. Okay, this card fits nicely onto a DL card. So this is going to be a background that I can use another time. So using my alcohol lift ink, I am going to add that across the top, okay, of my card. There we go. I'm then going to take my brayer, and this is where you really only want to do a couple of pulls, because every time that goes over, okay, you are going to lose the colour underneath. So just be a little bit mindful of that, that you don't want to keep running that lift over and over and over. So I'm just brayering that down so that I know that it's nice and pushed, and there we have. So you can see here, my alcohol lift didn't actually attach itself there. So if you wanted to, you might be able to, I don't know. We'll try it and see. Let's put a little bit of alcohol lift there. Taking our brayer, let's just go over that area. Okay. And we know exactly where we've put that down because we've got our mark on there, and it might pick it up. We'll have a look and see. Trial and error. There we go. So yeah, we have picked up a little bit of that there, so we haven't got those white marks. So that's worked really well. So as I said before, don't waste your Yupo paper. Just get a small amount of alcohol blending solution, squirt it on, And then I just give this a quick wipe. There we go. And that is now ready for me to use another time. So let's just pop that down there. Okay, so now this is pretty much ready for me to do some stamping on. As you can see, this is one I also did earlier, and that's using the mushroom from Lavinia Stamps. I'll give you a quick show on how I did this. So we're going to go onto our stamp press, which is quite important when we're doing this, because the mushroom, which is actually called Forest Cap Coastal, is a really big stamp, and we want that to sit right in the middle there. Okay, like so. Then taking the lid of my stamp press, I'm going to pick that up, and using my Nocturne ink, I'm just going to ink that up. And then stamp that down. Okay, so we can now see if there's any areas that haven't come out particularly well, but I don't think that's too bad. I am going to give it one more stamp just to be on the safe side. Never hurts to do it twice. There we go. And then we've got a nice prominent look. Now on my other one, obviously I had a witch's hat, which is another technique in itself, which is our masking technique, which I will do on another YouTube video for you. But I'm just going to keep it nice and simple today, because I really wanted to just show you how to do the alcohol background. Also, I'm going to do a small amount of masking off, because I want to put the moon in like I have here, and I want to show you how to do that. So I've just taken some Mermaid Lagoon, which I think complements the colours that I've used on here quite well, and I'm going to soften the edges. I do like to soften the edges of all of my cards, so I'm just going to go around the edge of that moon. All the items that I'm showing you today are available on our website, which is www.theforgetmenotcraftcabin.co.uk or .com. That includes the Lavinia stamps, the alcohol inks, the blending solution, the alcohol lift, the card, the UPO card, and these as well. We do a set of these, which are in a like a creamy colour as well, so they're all available on the website. Okay, so there we go. So you can start to see that this is really coming together now. What I also like to do, which really intensifies the colours, is using my colouring pencils. I will go in on where there are certain colours, sort of, can you see down here, that I love, and I just like to intensify them slightly. So again, on the moon, so I'm not going to cover all of it. It's just going to be in certain areas that I really like. And then there's a sort of yellow haze going on here. I think it's one of those sort of red sky at night, shepherd's delight, isn't it? Okay, so let's just blend all this in together. There we go. And I'm going bring a little bit of the yellow up here. Let's just go back over that orange, and that just blends it all together. There we go, and that just really intensifies that moon. Now, in addition to that, what I've also done is I've taken a charcoal pencil, and what I like to do is just, no, actually, sorry, I'm going to take a normal black pencil, and I'm just going to go around that moon like so. Okay, try and keep it to the proper shape. But we'll just give that a little bit of depth, a little bit of shadow on that side. And in fact, it looks like it's going into a bit of cloud there. Every time you do this, you get a really sort of different effect every time you do it. But that sort of gives that a real nice, there we go, a real nice effect. Okay, charcoal pencil is actually to go around the edge. This gives it a really nice, again, soft edge, and this way you don't need to put any black card behind it. This can now go straight onto our background of our card. Okay. And then across the bottom. Now across the bottom, we want to ground this toadstool, because at the moment this toadstool looks like it's sort of levitating in the air. So we're going to use our charcoal pencil again, and we're just going to add some shading along the bottom there, and then all you do, you just blend that with your finger. Okay, simple as that. I might actually take my black pencil and just make that slightly more shadowed. There we go. Okay, now the finale bit is where you add, now I might get away with this, before when I did it I used a gel pen, because my Poscas have always got quite a, they've got quite a thick nozzle. I know you can get the thinner ones, so I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go back to my gel pen, and I'm going to colour in those little white areas, and this is where your project starts to come to life. Just by doing a small amount of white pen work really does make your project pop. I'm just going to add just a small amount of Posca in there and just move that around with my gel pen. Okay. Obviously you can take a lot more time. I love this mushroom, or this toadstool as I should call it. It's a toadstool, not a mushroom. And then we're just going to start adding some white areas further down. So we're going to go in here, and I tend to blend it out a little bit as well with my finger. And a small amount in here. There we go. So it just lightens that whole area. And then we've got the windows and around the windows here. And then I'm just going to bring a small amount down the edge here. Okay. Okay, there we go. So obviously you can add a lot more colouring in if you want to, but I am just gonna leave it there for you tonight just to show you. And let's put a little bit of a highlight down here, but you can see how very quickly you can get these lovely images. Oh, I'll tell you what I have forgotten, really important is my splats. I do love a few splats, so that's using my Posca pen, and I'm just going to add a few in the night sky there. There we go. Okay, so that's showing you how to do a alcohol ink lift background and a simple bit of colouring. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will be back. So my next YouTube video, I am going to do the masking off technique for you. So I will see you very soon for that. Thank you.